I need to trust you. I need to know who you are. I need to understand your character. In order for me to stand up and say, hey, I know a guy, I need to know a guy. If you have an opportunity to talk to somebody, and if you think they could be a member of your word-of-mouth army, recruit them. Simply introducing yourself is not enough. Become more visible, more open, and share not just what they do, but their character and their personality.
Hey Steve, welcome back.
Hello Sudev, nice to be back.
Great, so we have some great topic to discuss today.
So I understand.
Yeah. So today we're talking a little bit about lead gen strategies. And I know you have a couple of different types of lead gen strategies that we want to talk about. So first, I know when you have business club meetings here, you often talk about the word of mouth army, WAMA, right? So what are the first steps that the people should take care to establish that word of mouth army?
Well, you and I have heard over our whole lifetime, every time a topic or a conversation might come up, somebody will jump in and say, hey, I know a guy. Okay, well, what does someone have to know about you in order for them to say, I know a guy and it's you? That's what we have to figure out. We've got to figure out the minimum message necessary. Like in my world, if anybody ever asks me anything about digital marketing, well, you should talk to Sudev.
Right. So, so how do freelancers and startups create that statement of value to be able to create that word of mouth army, if you will?
Yeah, there's a lot of information and a lot of gurus out there that talk a lot about storytelling and making yourself sound really interesting, and all of that's important, I think, because before we can wow anyone with the work that we do, the first thing we've got to do is intrigue someone with words. Words are absolutely critical, and we got to get them right.
Right.
But when you boil it down to the bare essence,
Right.
there's basically three things that we really want our members to know. Number one, who are we really able to help? And number two, what is the outcome that we're going to help them get?
Right.
And then the third one's a little tricky. I need to know a little bit about how you do what you do, but tied in with that really closely is, I need to trust you. I need to know who you are. I need to understand your character. In order for me to stand up and say, hey, I know a guy, I need to know a guy. It's not just that you know how to do digital marketing.
Right.
I trust you that you're going to be able to deliver the right tool
Right.
to the person that I suggest you to.
Right. Okay. So what are some of these trigger events and how do they play in the lead gen strategies?
Most of us, when we design our business, we're designing it in order to solve a problem or to cause a result. Okay, fine. But there's something that frequently happens that causes us to need something. Because yesterday we may not have needed it, but
Right.
today we do. Okay, well, what happened?
Correct.
Well, today I happened to sit through a session with Steve Edwards, for example, and he told me something about AI that it can do that I didn't know that it could do yesterday. And now I'm thinking, maybe I should go learn about that.
Right.
Those are the trigger events that cause someone to change their mind. Yesterday I didn't need your help, but today I do.
Got it. You always talk about strategic partnerships and sponsorships. How can freelancers, in your mind, and small business owners, how can they use it effectively?
Yeah, this is kind of counterintuitive to a freelancer. At least I think. I think freelancers want to be independent. I think we want to go do things the way we want to do it.
Right.
We want to do it on our terms.
Right.
And we want to play the game. We want to play the game. And that's fine, and that's good. I'm a big fan of that kind of self-confidence. But as I said earlier, I need to know a little bit more about you as a person. And one of the ways that we can do that, one of the ways that we can establish our own credibility is by the associations we make. I forget the author who said that if you tell me who your 5 closest friends are, I'll tell you everything I need to know about you.
Oh, that's Stephen Covey?
Is that who said that?
I think so.
I forget. But this is the same kind of concept.
Okay.
When you as a freelancer want to expand your credibility, figure out who you want to associate with. Like being a member of a business club
Right.
is a good thing to do. It gives you credibility. You know, we both know Melissa Taylor and her
Right.
group, Network Build Grow, and I would suggest the exact same thing is true with that. So just find the people that you want to associate with and make that known. Make that known that you're connected with them or associated with them somehow.
Got it. So when we discuss about lead gen strategies, one of the key element is the a lead magnet. So what, according to you, are some of the ingredients of a successful lead magnet, and how should it fit into a freelancer's funnel?
Boy, there's so many different things that you can do that fall under that category
Right.
of lead magnet. So it's really hard to give a generic answer to that. But I will say that everything about lead generation begins with your definition of a lead. What do you consider a lead? And the mere fact that someone introduces you to a friend of theirs, that doesn't necessarily mean that's a lead.
It's just a contact.
It's just a contact. It's an introduction. So if you really understand what your value proposition is, and if you can come up with some kind of a free sample
Right.
that is going to really only appeal to those people that are really have an interest in what you're doing,
Right.
that to me is the ideal lead magnet.
Got it.
I would rather have 2 results from a lead magnet and both of them become clients rather than have 200 results from a lead magnet and 2 of them become clients.
So essentially, you're really looking at bottom of the funnel marketing, hitting the right people at the right time, so that your conversion is much higher through the lead magnet rather than having the entire universe come to that.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
I mean, you and I have heard people say all the time that, well, everybody is my client. Well, okay, well, what happens if everybody shows up?
Yeah,
Yeah, you're just one person.
right.
No, I think once you figure out your strategy, your own business, from that point forward, it becomes a matter of efficiency.
Correct.
All I really want to do is talk to the people that want to talk to me. You and I both have also heard often about, I hate getting sales calls. I hate it when salespeople call me. Okay, just out of curiosity, are you calling people?
Yeah.
Are you being that annoying person too? So no, I really only want to talk to the people that want to talk to me.
Makes sense. Oh, we know of late that LinkedIn has been a great tool for us in terms of lead generation and all that. So, what's the best way that freelancers can actually take advantage of this tool?
It's funny. I had a call today with a client, and we were talking about LinkedIn, and I said, LinkedIn just isn't what it used to be. Back when I first got involved with it, I think there were 200,000 people on LinkedIn. I mean, it was really cool. It was really personal. Today, there's 1 billion, did I hear?
Yeah, close to.
1 billion people on LinkedIn. So it is not the same thing that it used to be. So, if anybody finds you on LinkedIn, that's a miracle.
Right.
The only people that are really going to read your profile are the people that you send it to. So again, it comes back to who do you want to talk to?
Right.
And you've taught me with utilizing Sales Navigator and how to be able to identify really clearly
Yeah, who your target market
who
is.
your target market is, and you send the invitation out to connect with them,
Right.
and that's how you're going to get people to go and read your profile. One at a time? Yeah, one at a time, but there isn't any other way, unfortunately.
There's way to automate, but then that becomes a universe. It's not your bottom of the funnel.
Well, even yours is automated as
Yeah.
long as you zero in on
Right.
the people you want.
Correct.
And if you you don't have to make that many connections. The old mentalities of the 70s and the 80s is gone, I think. You can't keep reaching out to more and more people. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
Everybody is doing that, and that's why it doesn't work, because we're all fed up with it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And you heard me talk a little bit about Sales Navigator, and I know you're slowly becoming a fan of one. So what, according to you, are some of the effective ways to use the Sales Navigator?
My favorite way is the one campaign you and I ran last year when we started Business Club, and we reached out to my first level connections that were here in Charlotte. And I think that's the coolest of the campaigns. Now, I learned years ago that the only people I want to connect with on LinkedIn are people here in Charlotte. And so if for me to accept an invitation from someone who doesn't live in Charlotte, they have to have a rock
Compelling,
star
profile that fits your ideal customer profile.
Exactly. So when we went through and selected those people, my first level connections here in Charlotte, they were already pretty well filtered by me.
Right.
Because the only people I'm connected with are people that I know. Now there are a lot of people I'm connected with in Charlotte that I haven't met, but I still think it's a very viable list. And that's why I'm a big fan of geography being important in your definition of your client.
Absolutely, 100%. You and I run this business club in many ways. It's all one of the core functions of the business club is networking. So what are some of the top tips that you want to give freelancers of using networking as a lead generation tool?
What we're trying to do at Business Club, I think, is the right way to do it, in that members need to take the lead. They either need to be part of the organization and help us bring people to the meetings, help us market the meetings, become more connected to Business Club so that it becomes kind of a partnering entity, so that we're both helping each other.
Right.
And number two, when you come to the meetings, be active.
Yep.
Simply introducing yourself is not enough.
Yep.
Putting your business on the table. Ryan, I forget his last name.
Lombardo.
The last two meetings, he has done a brilliant job of that.
He's dominated the meeting.
Yeah. Guaranteed, everyone who's been attending those meetings knows exactly what Ryan's doing. And not only that, how he's trying to do it. And that's what I really want all of our members to do.
Yeah.
To become more visible, more open, and share not just what they do, but their character and their personality. Because that all matters, especially if you're a freelancer.
Absolutely. And it's so important, even especially when you're in a room and then you see that some people are like silent and not talking. Why are you coming?
Yeah. Well, they're probably introverts like me, and it takes a while before you feel comfortable to stand up and actually say something.
Yep. Cool. You give a lot of importance to the pitch, the well-worded pitch. So what does an ideal one look like, according to you?
The perfect pitch is the exact words at the right time in front of the right person. So in order for a pitch to be perfect, you have to know the audience. If you, without knowing who the audience is, it's impossible to give a great pitch. So it's a little tricky at a networking event because you may not know who's in the room.
That's right.
But as soon as possible, you want to try to at least identify one or two people in the room so that when you do introduce yourself, you're talking to them.
Correct.
So it becomes a more specific thing. It's not hard to put together a pitch being oblivious to the audience. You can say whatever you want because it doesn't matter.
Right.
But if you're trying to get a result, you might want to be a little bit more in tune with the audience.
Cool. So many freelancers, they post a lot of content out there, and but they don't see a lot of engagement. How do you think they can create content that actually create some kind of call to action?
Comes back to the audience.
Yeah.
Are you writing content for strangers, or are you writing content for your audience, your
Right.
network?
Right.
And you and I both put a lot of value in creating your list, and I
Yes.
call it your word of mouth army. And that's who you're sharing content with. If you share content with people who know, like, and trust you, and if you put together content that, in my opinion, is brief and powerful with a call to action, then you have a chance.
Got it. Now, I know you always talk about presentations and guest speakings, and what are some of the strategies of turning these speaking gigs into leads, particularly in the era of podcast? We started doing this podcast. A lot of people are coming here. I haven't started going out to the market yet to get opportunities to speak, but I'm pretty sure when I do get opportunities, there will be opportunities to convert those speaking gigs into leads potentially. And so, are there any particular strategies that you can recommend?
I do believe that speaking in public, in front of a live audience, is a extremely powerful
Yeah.
exercise, because it checks a lot of boxes. People get to see you, the
Right.
physical you. People get to experience your character. People get to hear your voice. They get to connect your body language with your facial expressions and all of that stuff. And so being in a physical setting, face to face, moves your relationship with all of those people a lot closer. And then if you actually say something that's valuable, that helps the case too.
Right.
And then very simply, you have to have some kind of a call to action at the end of every presentation. So that my rule of thumb was, if you have the opportunity to go to a networking event or a face-to-face event, my objective was always two. I want to accomplish two things. More than that's great, but I'm there to accomplish two, and if I'm bored, I can go home after two. But either meet somebody I hadn't met before, or enhance a relationship that needed help.
Right.
So that I'm a big fan of. Podcasting, I'm still curious how we can best utilize it.
It's picking up big time.
I know it is, and that's what concerns me a little bit. If there's more and more of this content out there, how are we going to make sure that somebody finds ours? But I am wide open to it, because this exercise that we're going through right now and recording this event can be chopped up into a multitude of smaller pieces that can be used in all kinds of different ways.
That's true.
And so podcasting is not just being able to present the idea to an audience, it's also being able to take that same content and repurpose it.
Absolutely. We always have this debate about bottom of the funnel marketing versus top of the funnel marketing. How do you think freelancers can balance bottom versus top?
Once a freelancer achieves some kind of stability, I truly believe they can stop top of the funnel marketing.
Okay.
But until they get there, I think they have to do both. And the better they become at bottom of the funnel marketing, that is, the better they understand who their ideal client is, what's the outcome they're going to deliver, and what information do they need to provide their word-of-mouth army so that their word-of-mouth army becomes productive.
Right.
Once we learn those three things, now we can get a lot better at top of the funnel marketing, because now we know this is what we're trying to communicate.
Yep. Makes a lot of sense. Many people kind of hesitate to be proactive because they feel that they're going to become very salesy. So how can they kind of shift their mindset?
I think it was Zig Ziglar who said that if you have a solution that is going to be unbelievably valuable, helpful, and beneficial to the world, you have a moral obligation to tell people that you have it.
And you have to make a sale.
Well, you just have to tell people you have it.
Right.
That if you have the cure for breast cancer,
Yes.
don't you think you have to tell people that you
Absolutely,
got it?
100%.
So we were talking the other day about confidence.
Yes.
Are you confident in the value proposition or the outcome that you're bringing to the marketplace? And if you are, and you know who it is you want to help them.
Yep.
Just tell them that that's what you're here for. You're not trying to make a sale. Sandler Sales, in one of their strategies, talks about going for the no and getting the person you're talking to say no so you know that you can go on to the next one. Well, I think that is absolutely the role of a salesperson, and that's what we want salespeople to do. But if you're an owner or a freelancer, I don't want you doing that. If you have an opportunity to talk to somebody, and if you think they could be a member of your word-of-mouth army, recruit them.
Yeah.
Bring them on board. You're building this network from the bottom up of people that you know, like, and trust.
Right.
Now, you don't know if they know, like, and trust you, but chances are if you know, like, and trust them, it works in reverse.
Makes sense.
But that's what bottom of the funnel marketing is. Recruiting those people so that they can help
Spread the word.
spread your word.
Okay, makes sense. So what are some of the rookie mistakes or rookie lead gen mistakes that the freelancers make in their approach
Oh, the biggest mistake is they think that everybody
with their customer?
is their client.
Cool. If you were to focus only on one lead generation strategy, what would that be and why? Word of mouth?
Yeah, but in order to make word of mouth happen, you've got to recruit people. So how would I recruit people? LinkedIn and networking. Face-to-face networking. I'm a big believer in that body language, facial expression.
Right. One-to-one connect.
Yeah, you can tell when you're having a conversation with somebody face-to-face whether or not the conversation is resonating or not.
Right.
And if I'm going to recruit you to be part of my word of mouth army, I want to know about you.
Absolutely.
But that ties into that sponsorship question you were asking me before.
Yeah.
That anybody and everybody that I recruit to my army, they're my sponsors, is another way to look at it. And I want the people in my army that I know, like, and trust, that I like hanging out with.
Absolutely.
I made the comment the other day about design and build the business you want,
Right.
rather than have to accept the one you might get.
Right. Cool. And how does one measure the success of these strategies that we talked about?
I think the key indicator is time. You have time.
Okay.
People who say that I don't have time to do anything, to me, those are the people that are spinning too many plates.
Right.
They're trying to do too many things. They're either working too hard. They're just working too hard in terms of sales and marketing. What they're not doing too little of is actually working with clients.
Got it. Sure, cool. So we are at a stage where I think I've kind of exhausted my questions for lead gen, but we'll do some rapid fire questions. So feel free to take as little time or as much time as you want.
Okay, great.
Biggest myth about lead gen?
Well, the biggest challenge with the LinkedIn, with lead generation, is people don't know what it is. There's so many ways to do it. The biggest myth is that one size fits all,
Yeah.
because that's not true.
Yeah, again, it depends on what you're trying to do, who's your target market, and all that stuff.
Yep.
Cool. Cold outreach, is it overrated or underrated?
It's a tactic, is all it is. And when you look at all the tactics available to generate leads, it's one of them. And
Always effective? No.
it's as effective as you want it to be. The choices we make in terms of lead generation tactics all depend upon us, because if we like doing them,
Yeah.
we'll do them. If we don't like
We
doing
don't
them,
do-
we won't do
Yeah,
them.
that's right.
I mean, I have one client who she loves making cold calls, and she loves doing it, and she'll sit down and make 100 calls.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, if it's in your wheelhouse, do it.
I will never do one. I'm like a no call close.
I like that term.
Yeah,
call
like no
close.
call close.
Yeah.
Cool. One book every freelancer must read.
Profit First by Michael McCallowitz.
Okay. Email marketing, do you think it's still effective?
I think it's the only thing that's effective. Once you build a network of people, your word of mouth army, that's where it's effective.
In fact, in the last couple of months, in fact, last week, I did a campaign. I sent something to about 4,000 emails for about chess coaching. Some of them were cold, some of them were old ones. We got a pretty good conversion, like 5 or 6 people signed up, which is not bad, considering that all it costed me was like 30 minutes to send.
The only thing that worries me about email marketing is that everybody is doing it. And we're all bombarded with stuff in our inbox. And we're going to have to rethink that a little bit. But fortunately, AI is here, and it's going to help us figure out
Right.
how to
absolutely.
get better.
Cool. So, should freelancers, I think I know the answer, but still I'll ask you, should freelancers stay niche down or should they stay broad?
Niche down.
Niche down.
Niche down.
Cool. Yeah, that's what I thought. To
You
recommend,
you can have multiple niches,
yes,
but with every niche you add, that's a whole different lead generation strategy. Lead generation for product A
Yeah.
is no guarantee it's going to work for product
Right.
B.
okay, makes sense. Would you recommend direct messaging to potential clients?
Yes.
Just get straight to the point. Is that what it is? Or nurture them?
Well, it depends on your product, and it depends on trigger events.
Right.
If a trigger event happens, and I think we're going through a massive trigger event right now with the onset of AI.
Right.
And every business owner today has got to be wondering, do I have to do that, really?
Yeah.
And then if I do it, how hard is it going to be? What's it really going to do for me? I mean, it's just it's a big trigger event that's taking place right now.
Right. So what are some of the biggest challenges that the freelancers are facing today?
Noise.
Noise, too many clutter and don't know which one to pick. So
I mean, yeah, there's so many
Can't be
things we
focused.
could be doing. How do you pick which ones you want?
right,
When you do pick which one you want, who are you going to share it with?
right,
Because unfortunately or fortunately, the internet plus AI is giving us every opportunity. Every opportunity. You know, in a circle, there's 360 directions you can go. Well, we've got 360 decisions. We got 360 different directions we can go all the time right now.
right. So what's your favorite lead gen strategy? LinkedIn,
It's a toss-up between LinkedIn and networking
word of mouth army.
to build my word of mouth. army.
Okay.
Yeah.
One thing that freelancers should stop doing immediately.
Thinking that everybody is their client.
Good. And what's your favorite tool for LinkedIn automating the lead gen? Not LinkedIn necessarily, but generally automating the lead gen.
There's a lot I have to learn about automating lead generation efforts, because I know there's about 300 strategies I don't know
Right.
about. But the ones I know about, and what you've shown me about Sales Navigator, that's hard to deny.
Right, absolutely.
It's really good.
Yep, it does. It does play a big role in getting the right kind of leads that you want.
Would you say the other day that the system that you use, it's $200 a month,
Yeah,
and that's your marketing budget?
That's
That's
my
how
marketing.
you're gonna constantly be
yes,
talking to new prospects.
absolutely, 100%.
That's hard to beat.
It is very hard to beat. I've seen people spend tens of thousands of dollars on lead gen and still not get anywhere. $200 is a pretty darn good amount.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Steve, once again, thank you for coming. It's a
Cool.
pleasure having you here,
My pleasure. Thank you.
and always, always something new to learn from you. I'll look forward for another conversation.
I'll look forward to that too. Thanks.
Thank you. Hey guys, I hope you really liked the video, and if you did, please like, subscribe, and comment. And we would like to reach many more small business owners. I would really appreciate if you can share the video with them as well. Thank you, and see you until next time. Have a great one.